We'll talk about 3 ways that you could, at least in theory, learn to transpose. Number 1, you could actually read music in real time and change every note to the new key, right? In theory, it'll work. In reality, it doesn't. Nobody does it. Okay, there's another way that you can do it. Number 2 is you just play by ear. If you play by ear well, you can just go between keys without half trying. And that is by far the main way that people learn to play in transpose. They learn to play in the new key in transpose just using their ear. Some of you aren't at that level. And that brings me to the 3rd way to transpose. They're going to transpose the harmony.
So what I want you to think about is, instead of thinking about those chords as letters, C, G, F, C, G, F, C, G, D, F, G, C, think about them as numbers. So if we look at the C major scale, which this song is in the key of, C to C, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, 1. Now, instead of saying those note names, say them as numbers, starting with 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay? So that progression that we played, which was C, G, F, I want you to think about it in terms of numbers. This is the whole key here. So C is 1, 1. G is 5, 5. F is 4, 4. 5, 1, 5, 4. 5, 1, 5, 2. 4, 5. I wasn't singing exactly the right notes, but that's the progression that I played there. So if you look at the chord, so watch my left hand as it moves, and just think about the numbers. 1, 5, 4. 1, 5, 4. 1, 5, 2 minor. 4, 5. So if we just remember that number sequence, 1, 5, 4, 1, 5, 4, 1, 5, 2, 4, 5, 1, then we can play that song, that little piece of music, in any key we want. You can play that in any key that you know the scale. So take the key of F, for instance. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 4, 5, 2. Here's our minor. 1, 5, 4, 5. Okay, so like this. 1, 5, 4. 1, 5, 4. 1, 5, 2 minor. 4, 4, 5. So that's basically how you can play any progression if you understand the chord movement in terms of numbers, and if you know your major scales.
How do we actually transpose chords to a different key? Well, let's use this chord progression as an example, and then we can go through it together. So we have the chords C major, F major, and then G major. So the first thing we need to do is identify what key the original chords are in. This chord progression is in the key of C major, all the white notes. So if we wanted to transpose these chords to the key of F major, the first thing we would have to do is to make sure we knew the scale of that key. So here is an F major scale. It's all white notes and a B flat. The next thing we would want to do is go over the original chords and number them in relation to the scale. So since we're in the key of C major, the first chord, C major, would be chord 1. The next chord, F major, would then be chord 4, because F is the 4th note of the C major scale. 1, 2, 3, 4. F major. And then going on to G major, that would be chord 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have chord 1, chord 4, and chord 5. This is all the information we really need to transpose the chords. If we move to the key of F major, we now just need to figure out which chords are 1, 4 and 5. Hopefully we know that chord 1 in F major is going to be the chord F major. Chord 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, is going to be a B flat major. And chord 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, is going to be a C major. So we have an F major, a B flat major, and a C major. So it's really not that difficult. It just takes practice, and you'll definitely get better and faster at it. It also really helps to be familiar with your scales, so I recommend practicing those as always. There are other methods to transpose chords, but this is the most efficient and logical way of doing
I'd say,
it.
Lisa, why in the heck would I want to do this? Well, a few reasons. One is it's a fun brain puzzle. Another is that if you're playing this with another instrument, like a guitar or a tuba, and they need you to play it in a different key so that they can match pitch more easily, you're able to do it. Or if you had a piece of music that someone was singing and the key you were in was unreachable for them, either too high or too low, then you could adjust your key so that they could sing with you more comfortably.
Yes, this is a much better, faster, easier method, is to look at the key you're in this case the key of C, and ask yourself, what are the numbers of the melody related to the key that you're in, okay?
It really helps to become good at transposition for two main reasons. One, it gives you a better understanding of how each key is set up. So you'll really have to engage your brain and be like, okay, now I'm thinking in the key of B. Okay, I have these 5 sharps now I got to look out for, and I'm still trying to maintain the same pattern between each hand. So it's good for that. It's also great if you ever play for a band, you play for an orchestra or a choir or something, and they throw upon you all of a sudden, okay, I know your piece is written in the key of A, but now we're going to play it in the key of B or the key of B flat. So you have to know what you're doing there, and the better you can get at transposition, the better off you'll be. It's just, like each time you practice, just take a line of your music and see how many keys you can transpose it to. Quite the brain workout.